And for your information, the questions were formulated by members of the executive committee to try to keep this thing from lasting all night long. 3 questions, and you've seen how much time it takes to get all these things through so that you don't have to be here all night, because most of you, other than retired people like me, have to get up in the morning to go to a job. So we're trying to have your comfort in mind as much as we can and still yet get as much information out from all the candidates as possible. So we'll begin, if they're ready, with the sheriffs. They've already drawn for their position here up to which one will go first. As the rest of the candidates go, you have 1 minute opening statement. Our timer here will give you a 30-second notice, so you'll know to start shutting down. Then we'll ask the questions behind it. We will alternate the questions, so Mr. Dow goes first, Ms. Diaz goes second, and on down the line. And we switch off from that. You'll get 2 minutes for answering each question. And then at the end of the question and answer period, you get a minute closing. And our timer here will also give you a 30-minute notice or 30-second notice each time on each question and during your opening and closing. So is everybody ready? Y'all ready? All right. Mr. Dow, you got the first draw. You have the first opening statement.
I'm Jamie Dow, and I appreciate all y'all coming out tonight. Very nerve-wracking getting up here and talking in front of a bunch of people, but I'm here because Dane Masson took a chance on somebody 20 years ago, giving me an opportunity to work in this fine county. And Sheriff Shue kept me employed up until just a few months ago when I chose myself to leave. It was nothing on the court of him, so I can get that straight. I'm married to my wife of 18 years. I've got 2 sons, 15 and 9. Mom, dad, bunch of nieces and nephews. I love Wilkes County. This is my home. And I just appreciate everybody being here, appreciate everybody watching on here, and I thank God for the ability to be up here representing Wilkes County. And I look forward to seeing what the future holds.
Ms. Davis.
I'm a Wilkes County girl that graduated from West Wilkes High School that wanted to be a lawyer. Not being from a rich family, I decided to go in law enforcement instead. When I went to apply, I was told they had their quota. That was the best thing that could ever happen to me. God works in mysterious ways. I would have never got the training or the experience that I got when I went to Florida that I would have got here in Wilkes County. I ended up going into Florida for my law enforcement, where I got
30 seconds.
The law says you are innocent until proven guilty, not guilty until you're proven innocent. Our justice system has turned inside out. Today you're guilty until prove yourself innocent. I am running to ensure that law enforcement gets all the training experience that they need to make these determinations. That's the shortest minutes ever had.
Sheriff Shue, 1 minute open.
I'm Chris Shue. I'm the current Wilkes County Sheriff. I'm married to my wife, Janet, for 32 years. We live in the Antioch community near Windy Gap. I have 3 children. We have 3 children. I have 2 sons and a daughter. And I have a new daughter-in-law that's here with us today. I'm very, very proud of my family. And I have several friends I'm very proud of them. I want to thank you for the opportunity that I've had over the last 15 years. I've done my best to provide the best professional public safety that we could possibly have, and hire the best people. And I've worked with a lot of good people. So again, I would appreciate it if you would vote for me, and I promise you I will keep doing a good job. We will. I've got the best core group of people that anybody could ever put together. Thank you.
Mr. Byrd, your 1 minute open.
Thank y'all for putting this on, and thank you guys for coming. My name's Eric Byrd. I've been in law enforcement for over 30 years. This is all I've ever wanted to do. When I was 17 years old, somebody broke into my house, stole my stereo, stole our cordless phone, stole some other things. I was so angry. The sheriff's office sent 2 detectives out to my house. They were dressed in coats and ties, and they made a report and processed the scene. And within 2 weeks, they had caught the person that did it, They put them in jail, and they got our stuff back. And I knew from that point on what I wanted to do in my life. When I turned 21 years old, I went through basic law enforcement training. As soon as I graduated from basic law enforcement training, I was on the phone every week to get an interview with him. And I finally got that interview, and when we sat down, he said, "What are your goals?" And I told him, I said, "Where you're sitting." Here I am.
Mr. Carson, your 1 minute opening.
Hey guys, thank you guys for coming out. My name is David Carson. I'm a lifelong resident of Wilkes County, 56-year-old. I have a lovely wife, Elaine, who's here with me tonight. I have 3 children, boy and girl twins that are 21 years old, and I have a stepson as well. I am a proud Wilkes County citizen, and I'm proud to say that I spent 30 years at the Wilkes County Sheriff's Office. I started my emergency services career in 1988 as a volunteer fireman. I've worked with the rescue squad, the fire department, and then with the sheriff's office for 30 years. I've worked my way up through the ranks at the sheriff's office from patrol deputy to chief deputy when I retired in 2020. I would appreciate your vote March 3rd. Thank you.
Mr. Gamble, your 1 minute.
All right. David Gamble. I've lived in the community my whole life. Married 26 years, my wife Megan. 3 kids. Started my career in law enforcement in 2002 and moved through about every position you can go through in that time from up to current. I was lucky enough to be elected county commissioner in 2010. I saw a need. We needed a jail. The county was just about, they was furloughing employees. I saw that need. State was about ready to come in. I did run. You were gracious enough to put me in at 30 years old, so I was one of the youngest commissioners. During that time, I done a lot to move emergency services forward, building a jail, fitting a law enforcement officer, our current building into a law enforcement officer now, the Ag Center. We put God We Trust on the county office building and courthouse, and I want to use that experience and move the county forward as sheriff.
All right, our first question, Ms. Diaz, you get the first question. Why should the voters of Wilkes County elect you as their sheriff?
Well, the reason why you should elect me is because that's one of the things that I wanted to do when I left Wilkes County was to go in law enforcement and to learn everything that I could to come back to Wilkes County and run as sheriff. I want to make sure that every person in here feels like they are a person of interest by the sheriff's department when you have something or you are a victim. I love investigations. That's the #1 thing that I think we need more of. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I'm not seeing it as much as it used to. It seems like it's lacking, and I want to bring that back. But there's a lot of things that I want to do. I want to take and district the county. That means like substations, like small fire departments do. So it's quicker response. You get to know your deputies. The deputies get to know you. I want community involvement. I want to be able to have a specialized civil division. And that's where you have an issue that falls in the gray area. North Carolina does not teach civil law, and they don't handle that. And neither does, they don't really handle it. But you need alternatives and someone to hear you when you have an issue that falls in a gray area. 2 of them that we have here in Wilkes County is animals and property lines. Those are issues that when you call the sheriff's department, you want someone to tell you what you need to do. You do not need to hear, that's civil, there's nothing I can do. I'll have a special division. Thank you. Oh, 30 seconds? Oh, I thought that was it. I want to have a civil division where you can go to, that deputy can say, I don't know how the right way to do this, go to our civil division. They will look at your particular situation and give you information or tell you whether it falls into a crime, because they are gray areas. Some of them are both civil and criminal. But you have to know what they are, you have to have the training, and I'm really big about training. You have to have your law enforcement trained and know how to take and represent the people.
Sheriff Shue. Why should the voters of Wilkes County elect you as their sheriff?
Because I've got the most training, I've got the most experience, I've got the most service to the community. I have been in law enforcement for 45 years, not counting the year that I was part-time. If you will think back, there's not been any skeletons in our closet. I have, for my administration, and I have continued to move the office forward in technology, policy, and procedure. We've done all these things to move it forward. We're very transparent. We have implemented the use of body cams, in-car camera, GPS. We just continue to do what's best for our citizens, whatever we can do that our budget will allow. I came up through the ranks. I started out as a deputy sheriff. I was hired as a deputy, and after about a year and a half, I made sergeant on a patrol crew, and then I became a captain, and I became a detective, captain detective, chief detective, major detective, chief deputy, and sheriff, 15 years. And I think I have a good track record. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of the people that work for me. That has been a primary goal of mine, is to look after the people
30 seconds.
that look after you. And I'm going to continue to do that. I'm going to continue to look for feasible ways to add technology to our office to make the job easier, and just continue to hire the best people that I can and continue to look after them to make their salaries comparable to everybody else. That has been, anybody can tell you, that's been a goal of mine, is to make sure that our employees could work and be able to provide for their families.
Mr. Byrd, why should the voters of Wilkes County elect you as their sheriff?
I've had the honor of working in a career my whole life that I love. And to expound on what he was saying, I've been part of the past, I've been through the present, and now I want to lead this office into the future. The future is training, it's technology, and it's equipment. I've worked for both Dane and Chris, and through the years, I've seen the needed changes that they implemented at the time, and was part of the changes that they made. When I first came through, we went from revolvers to semi-automatics. We went from having no ballistic vests to having vests. I remember having to stop and use a payphone to call comm center, which turned into bag phones, and now everybody's issued a phone. We used to do paper reports, and now they're generated through computer, MDTs. And we've moved into a new sheriff's office and got a new jail. It has been I had a guy ask me, one of the young officers that worked for me. Sir?
30 seconds.
He asked me, he said, Bird, he said, you've been in law enforcement for a while. He said, what was it like working with Wyatt Earp? It's funny. I want to take us into the future. Our future is training, our future is equipment, and we have things now like interactive maps, we have flock, we have body cams, stop sticks.
Mr. Carson, why should the voters of Wilkes County elect you as their sheriff?
Because of my drive, my love for this county and love for law enforcement, my training, experience. I spent 30 years with the sheriff's office. I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. I have an advanced degree, or advanced certificate from Sheriff's Training and Standards. I have an advanced service award from Sheriff's Training and Standards, and numerous other trainings that too much to mention. I've investigated everything from mailbox vandalisms to murder, helped get those prosecuted through court. All the major updates that were just spoken about, I was there and part of those. Worked hard for them. Would like to see that continue. And I think I am the person that you need. When you call the sheriff's office and need the sheriff, I'll be there. I will answer the call. I'll be there when you need me. Thank you.
Mr. Gamble, why should the voters of Wilkes County elect you as their sheriff?
Well, I think my work ethic speaks for itself. If you look at my time, I'm not a career politician. I ran in 2010. I did not reseek my position in 22. I wanted to come back just to be in law enforcement back in my home county and serve the community like I have my whole life. I saw a need again to run for this office. I want to get control of the drug problem. I would like to implement the K-9 program back in the county. I would like to start out with a search dog and then move to drug dogs. That's tools that we currently do not have, and they're vital at a time of need if an elderly person goes missing or a kid goes missing. And if you'll look at my history from 2010 to 2022 when I was commissioner, I moved this county forward. I had the passion to move it forward. That's what I run for. And luckily I had a great board at that time that was good to work with and helped me move and have the accomplishment we have. We have so many, I can't even name them all. We work with the school system. We got new activity buses. We help fund them when they were in need. And I want to take that same drive and that same passion I have for this county and use it in the sheriff's office and work for you. And I'll never take it for granted, my oath for office. If you need me, I'll be available. Thank you.
Mr. Dow, why should the voters of Wilkes County elect you as their sheriff?
Everybody up here at one point in time has worked for Sheriff Shue. Sheriff Shue has done nothing but be good to all of us, and we've all learned from him. And it's up to us to take it to the next level. He can't do it forever. He's been a great mentor to me. I appreciate him, and this is one of the hardest things ever, is to sit up here and run against somebody you admire so much. But with that being said, I'm gonna be that one who goes out and stands on the dope dealers' necks. I'm not a pencil pusher. I'm who you get. I'm right here. I'm gonna be involved in our youth. I'm gonna bring our youth up through the ranks and teach them to have other ways of being involved in the drugs. Break the cycle of the drugs. If you sell drugs, and I'll look in the camera and let you know, under my watch, if you sell drugs in this county, I will 100% personally take that and go and get you myself, as well with the deputies. The deputies in this county are great. We got to go and we got to take the cuffs off and let the deputies go and go to work. I'm no politician. I can't sit here and tell you to vote for me, but I can tell you I'm one of two up here that's not retired, so I still have to work for you. So if you would just consider me, keep that in mind. I don't know what else much to say. I don't have a lot of paperwork to go with it. I've worked here for 20 years and I've worked hard. I've not been promoted. I've been in line for it, but it's not happening. It's okay. I don't hold any grudges toward that. My thing is I want to go to work and not be able to be told no. I want to make a better place for my kids and your kids. And I want to be held accountable by the community. You are the one that matters. We don't matter. Your voice needs to be heard. And if we can't do what you need to be done and push it forward, then we're not doing our job and we shouldn't be sitting up here.
Very good. Question number 2, Sheriff Shue, we'll begin with you. In your opinion, what are the most significant issues in Wilkes County, and what specific programs or changes do you propose to address them?
That's hard to answer because we're already on it. I look to the future. I always try to keep abreast of what's coming around the bend. What I see coming around the bend is it's going to be cryptocurrency fraud, cyber crimes. It's going to be the mental health issues. It's going to be civil unrest. And we're already on that. We're already training for that. I hope we never have to have any dealings with that. but some we already are. And we are training for that and going to continue to train for that. Like I said, we try to stay ahead of it. I'm on the legislative committee. I go and I talk with all these other sheriffs. All the problems they have are eventually going to get here. So we do everything we can to try to keep it stove off, so to speak. And just continue to train and educate our people and just stay on top of it. I can't tell you exactly what's coming around the bend, but from what I hear, what I know about it, I promise we'll try our best to get ready for it. Current problem, we have drugs. We've always had drugs. Prohibition, we had that in the 30s, and still get white liquor. So I'm not excusing it by no means. We will stay after that as hard as anybody can stay after that and continue to arrest and prosecute these people for any other crime as far as that part goes. So I'll try to hire the best of the best, and we'll do the best job that we can. I don't make any promises other than I'll do the best I can with what I've got to do with.
Time. Mr. Byrd, in your opinion, what are the most significant issues in Wilkes? And what specific programs or changes do you propose to address them?
I think Wilkes has a drug problem and Wilkes has a theft problem. Those are the two biggest issues that I can see. Number one, I would like to partner with groups, nonprofit groups who are already fighting addiction from their end. We can't arrest our way out of a drug problem. What we're doing isn't working. And so there's two sides of that coin. One is there are people out there who want help. There are people who have gotten help. There's people who have turned their life around. And I want to be the person to help them get that help that they need. But that's not a get out of jail free card. On the other side of that, if you're in the dope game, if you're selling dope, running dope, breaking into houses, breaking into businesses, stealing, we'll come after you with the full force and full weight of the sheriff's office. I would like to see additional resources for addiction inside the jail, inside the detention center. National studies have shown that inmates who are in addiction programs in the jail are 6 times more likely to continue with it when they get out of jail. And folks, that's a win. We want these people to be productive and back into society. I want hotspot policing.
30 seconds.
I'll do that through drug interdiction program. That will be officers who are assigned to track drugs and theft. I want to install a drug program back in our schools, like a DARE program, because studies have shown that high school programs that teach kids to stop using drugs are almost half.
Mr. Carson, in your opinion, what are the most significant issues in Wilkes, and what specific programs or changes do you propose to address them?
My opinion, the biggest problems in Wilkes are narcotics, illegal narcotics, and mental health. We can do some things in the jail with partnering with local agencies to make those better, to work with the agencies that are here and not cost the county any money. But as far as the narcotics go, I have a special place in my heart for narcotics. My dad was about 72 years old, fell off a ladder while he was at work, got put on Oxycontin by his doctor, and the doctor said, take them before you need them. Take them, take them, take them. My dad got addicted to Oxycontin, lost his life fortune, and eventually lost his life due to an overdose. That means something to me to get the narcotics off the streets. I want a sheriff's office that when you call and say, hey, I think my neighbor's dealing dope, there's 30 cars going in and out of there, we're gonna have people there. If we have to sit up in front of the house and turn the blue lights on and leave them there all night to keep them from dealing drugs there, we're gonna keep them from dealing drugs there. We're gonna arrest everybody we can arrest. We can arrest our way out of that, but we can make a darn good start at it. We can't just let it go. It's gotta be worked. A specialized team with special training in narcotics, and our narcotics officers trained more than they are today. So they know what they're looking for, they know the trends, they know the crime trends. So we can do better. I want to see us do better. Thank you.
Mr. Gamble, in your opinion, what are the most significant issues in Wilkes, and what specific programs or changes do you propose to address them?
One of the first things I would like to do is bring back LEAD program, which is Law Enforcement Officers Against Drugs. It is a version of DARE. DARE has been pretty ineffective throughout the years. LEAD has been established since 2014. It's been placed in surrounding counties and other schools, proven to be effective. It's a K-12 education that targets kids, gives them real life situations, real life scenarios that's proven to be effective. That would be one of my first goals for that in the schools. Second would be communications. We need a lot of improvement in communications. They are underworked, they need more staff. I would sit down with the fire departments and see what areas we could improve on, whether it's giving them more repeater towers, more tack channels. There's areas in this county, if you get in a building, you just can't get out. And communication is the heart and soul of all emergency services and what we do. And with that being said, that's not you, is it? With that being said, we have to get communications strong. One mistake there can cost a lot for first responders, and that would be my second goal. And going back with drugs is obviously a problem. That'll be the third issue. That's where I think the K-9 would help. We currently have undercover drug agents. I would have marked units with K-9s out stopping in the high crime areas and targeting them areas.
Now, in your opinion, what are the most significant issues in Wilkes, and what specific programs or changes do you propose to address them?
There's a lot of issues that I'd like to cover, but one of the first ones that I think needs to be covered is to turn the deputies loose. Let them get out and do their job, not be holding them back. Don't have any reservation on them getting out and working, and hold them accountable for what they're doing. Put them all over the county, get them out in the spots that are not covered. There's folks all over the county I talk to day in and day out that says they hadn't seen a deputy in weeks. I know that the county's huge, but we just gotta hold our deputies accountable. And we have a wonderful force here that's willing to work and willing to go do things that nobody else wants to do. The second thing I'd like to implement in there is a promotion process inside the sheriff's department, so those deputies have something to work for and work toward. Right now, it's whoever's in the office first is the ones that gets it. And they need something to hold their head up high so that they can walk and be able to get there. One of the major things is be with our youth, and I keep saying our deputies. Our SROs can't just be the only ones that are mentoring our youth. All of our deputies, all the force at the sheriff's office needs to be out. The EMS, the fire departments, we make a difference in these kids' lives. A lot of these kids are generational. They are raised in drugs. They continue to do drugs. If we can stop that, we can stop a lot in the future as far as the drugs is concerned. We've got to get off our heels and start moving and put our best foot forward. The narcotics, it's always going to be here.
30 seconds.
But if they're scared to come in here and they're scared to sell it because the community's going to report it, the sheriff's department's going to take care of their end, and our kids are not going to grow up and buy it, I think we're moving in the right direction. And if they don't like it, they better move or go to jail, because that's the only places there is for them. Wilkes County doesn't have room for all that. So just let's get the deputies to work. Let them support them. Have the community support them. When you call and the deputy shows up, when you say thank you, that means the absolute world to them.
Ms. Diaz, in your opinion, what are the most significant issues in Wilkes, and what specific programs or changes do you propose to address them?
The most significant issue, I feel, is investigation. I am an investigator. That's what I do. I work for the people now. I do it all the time. Narcotics is a give me, so I'm just gonna bypass that one because I worked undercover narcotics. It can be scary. I'm a straight shooter. You cannot get rid of the users, but you can the dealers, and there is a process. I like investigations. I also want to take, and I'm gonna go back to this one again on substations, which is, like I said, like the many fire departments where you have law enforcement that are assigned that area. They get to know that area. They get to know the people get to know them. You have a place to go get your reports. You have a kind of a report, so you no longer are scared of that law enforcement. I want a better report. I also want the community involvement into the sheriff's department. You know, I want people to say, hey, you know, this is happening in my area. I want to have an open door policy where you want to talk to a sheriff about an issue, or you're just not happy with what's happening and going on. Have open door policy, call it up. If they're not there, make an appointment. There's a lot of issues that need to be handled. Like I said, I'll go back to the civil division, and there's a couple of other areas that I want to take and hit on. But it would take me 5 minutes instead of 2, and stand up here explaining all these different issues that need to be worked on. I also want to do a specialized program, like the old vocational school that we used to have. I want to get the businesses and everybody involved, where you do an internship with the students in high school. I want to bring businesses into Wilkes County. I want to make Wilkes County the #1 county to live in the state of North Carolina, because we're going to be the safest, and we're going to be the one county that everybody is going to know that when you go, you have no fear or worry about what's happening in Watauga and what's happening in Winston-Salem. And if you don't know what's happening in those counties, you need to.
All right. I believe for the third question, we start with you, Mr. Byrd. Listen carefully. As an elected official, the sheriff is a politician dealing with other elected and appointed officials as well as the citizenry. The sheriff is the CEO managing 3 separate agencies with combined budgets of approximately $20 million and 147 employees. As the chief law enforcement officer of the county, the sheriff has law enforcement duties by tradition to include emergency communications, in addition to constitutional obligations of court security, civil process, warden of the jail. How do you propose to prioritize and administer these services to best serve the public?
Read that one more time.
For everything.
Who wrote that?
As an elected official, the sheriff is a politician dealing with other elected and appointed officials as well as the citizenry. The sheriff is the CEO, managing 3 separate agencies with combined budgets of approximately $20 million and 147 employees. As the chief law enforcement officer of the county, the sheriff has law enforcement duties by tradition to include emergency communications, in addition to constitutional obligations of court security, civil process, and warden of the jail. How do you propose to prioritize and administer these services to best serve the public?
All right, when we talk about the sheriff in North Carolina, we're talking about, he has 3 statutory responsibilities. That's the courts, that's civil process, and the detention center. We also provide patrol, investigations, comm centers. So first I would say that our 911 communications are paramount, because if you don't have 911, then you don't have things like an ambulance coming. You don't have a fire truck coming. You don't have law enforcement responding. And so, most of everything we do begins and ends. And, I think that you stack that on with, you prioritize that by what's life-threatening, what's a life-threatening event, a violent crime occurring. Outside of that, you have the detention center. The sheriff is responsible for every inmate in his custody, every day, every hour, from medical issues to mental health issues, and just keeping in line with what the state standards are. Your civil process would be your court orders, your warrants, subpoenas, divorces. These things have a time deadline. And so when we don't act in a timely manner, serve these papers, not only do we clog up the court system, but we also lose public trust. People lose faith in what we're doing if we don't serve those in a timely manner, and they take matters into their own hands. Bottom line is, I don't see it as prioritizing, I see it as balancing them in a way that makes the public safe.
Mr. Carson. As an elected official, the sheriff is a politician dealing with other elected and appointed officials as well as the citizenry. The sheriff is a CEO managing 3 separate agencies with combined budgets of approximately $20 million and 147 employees. As the chief law enforcement officer of the county, the sheriff has duties by tradition to include emergency communication, in addition to constitutional obligations of court security, civil process, and warden of the jail. How do you propose to prioritize and administer these services to best serve the public?
My priority is going to be public safety. There are constitutional requirements or obligations that have to be met, but they can be postponed at least temporarily to take care of public safety. You're important. You guys are what's important. We're there to protect you, so that is my priority. That's where it's going to start, that's where it's going to end, that's where it's going to be. Communications is the lifeline. That's where everything starts. You don't get a deputy, you don't get an ambulance, you don't get a fire truck or anything without communications. That's public safety. We've got to prioritize it with public safety and then work on those constitutional obligations to limit the liability on the county. Thank you.
Mr. Gamble. As an elected official, the sheriff is a politician dealing with other elected and appointed officials as well as the citizenry. The sheriff is a CEO managing 3 separate agencies with combined budgets of approximately $20 million and 147 employees. As the chief law enforcement officer of the county, the sheriff has law enforcement duties by tradition to include emergency communications, in addition to constitutional obligations of court security, civil process, and warden of the jail. How do you propose to prioritize and administer these services to best serve the public?
Well, I guess I'll break these up in pieces and try to get them all. So you got to be able to delegate. You got to have a strong staff, which the sheriff's office does have a strong staff. You got to be able to delegate to them positions, trust them, but verify that they're doing what you expect to be done. And as far as the politician part of it, I think that's where my strong suit would come in, because I've been on the opposite end. Being a commissioner, I know the value of the taxpayer, so I would be able to plan for things as needed, address the commissioners, and put it in a timely manner, and work, whether it be a year or two, to get what we need to get accomplished, get what we need to be accomplished, and not a strain to the taxpayers. That would be my priority for that. Can't think of the rest. But that would be my goal. I think that would be my strong suit, and being able to work with the commissioners, work with the staff, and I would be hands-on. I'd be open to the community. You have to be available to the community, and you'd have to be out in the field, hands-on with your deputies. Not all the time being a politician. You have to be a sheriff too. So, thank you.
Down. As an elected official, the sheriff is a politician dealing with other elected and appointed officials as well as the citizenry. The sheriff is a CEO managing 3 separate agencies with combined budgets of approximately $20 million and 147 employees. As the chief law enforcement officer of the county, the sheriff has law enforcement duties by tradition to include emergency communications in addition to constitutional obligations of court security, civil process, and warden of the jail. How do you propose to prioritize and administer these services to best serve the public?
The Constitution part there is a big one. It shall not be infringed, so we're gonna stick with that, and we're gonna run with the Constitution all the way to the end. The main thing is just surround yourself with like-minded people. You know, if you're not good at math, get somebody that is good at math to help you do your job. We'll go into this together, we'll be transparent, let everybody know where the monies are coming from, where the monies are going. Every quarter, everybody deserves to know where that's at. Work with your staff. The jail is phenomenal here in the county, it works good. Don't mess with it if it ain't broke. Just continue to work with the public, continue to work with the sheriff's office, continue to work with the other politicians to make Wilkes County better. If someone doesn't align with you, you stand your ground. You don't change your opinion, you don't change your way. You move forward and you continue to make Wilkes County better and do it right by the citizens. The citizens are being taken out of so much right now, and none of us are up here because we think things are great. We're up here to make change, and we can't do it without you. And if you have an opinion, or you have something that could better us, we need to be open to that opinion. We need to be willing to sit down at tables and hash things out and put things together and just continue to make Wilkes County grow. And I'll have to disagree with you. This is the best county in North Carolina, or we wouldn't be sitting here today. We love our county, and we're gonna make it better. We're gonna continue making it better, and I wouldn't be anywhere else but here.
Ms. Diaz. As an elected official, the sheriff is a politician dealing with other elected and appointed officials as well as the citizenry. The sheriff is a CEO managing 3 separate agencies with combined budgets of approximately $20 million and 147 employees. As the chief law enforcement officer of the county, the sheriff has law enforcement duties by tradition to include emergency communications in addition to constitutional obligations of court security, civil process, and warden of the jail. How do you propose to prioritize and administer these services to best serve the public?
Well, first of all, I am not a politician. I am a people person. Second, these are different divisions. Each division has their own command staff. You have got to be able to make sure that you have people that are in there that are well-trained, they're well-experienced, and they know their stuff, and they're accountable to you. You got to make sure that they understand their job, and then when they get out of bed in the morning, they get up and they look forward to going to their job. I always say if you get up in the morning and you're dreading going to work, it's time for a change. You don't have to leave that job, you just need to change it up. But to be accountable to the sheriff, and you got to make that a priority. You hope that not all 3 of these or all these different divisions fall apart at one time. I've actually worked with emergency management. I've been able to, as a female, I went in law enforcement at the correct time. They were looking for females, and like I told my sheriff, use me, just don't abuse me. And he did. I got opportunities that most people would never get a lifetime to be able to do, to work it. And I got to work in a lot of different divisions. Like I said, I worked with emergency management. I worked in undercover narcotics. I was the female that was the hostage negotiator. I also was on the SWAT team. Most people won't see that in a lot of places. I worked undercover narcotics. I got to dabble in just about every department because my sheriff knew that this is what I wanted to come back to do, that I wanted to come back to Wilkes and run for sheriff. So I got to learn the different divisions and how to run. I run a business now. I do a lot of pro bono work. I work for the people. I do a lot of investigations, and then I work for a lot of other government agencies too, in places that take me outside of Wilkes. And I get to see and experience things that most people don't get to see and experience. And I won't, like I said, shut up.
Sheriff Shute.
Yes, sir.
As an elected official, the sheriff is a politician dealing with other elected and appointed officials as well as the citizenry. The sheriff is the CEO managing 3 separate agencies with combined budgets of approximately $20 million and 147 employees. As the chief law enforcement officer of the county, the sheriff has law enforcement duties by tradition to include emergency communications, in addition to constitutional obligations of court security, civil process, and warden of the jail. How do you propose to prioritize and administer these services to best serve the public?
Well, you can call me whatever you want to. You can call me a politician, a manager, whatever it is. But I want you to know I'm the same person that you elected in 2010. The very same person. These resources that I have, the 147 employees, they all work for me. They're all under the sheriff's command. So I can redirect these employees on mailbox vandalism, which I know was more important to you at the time than maybe a homicide or something else that's going on. But we may not be able to work your mailbox vandalism. We may not be able to work your forgery. We may not be able to do damage to property and some of the minor crimes. We may have to set those aside for a little while to focus on what's happening currently. The SROs, they can be redirected. I know that would be under extreme measures, but that's one thing that we could do. We could redirect our SROs, or at least part of them. And I know administrative staff, and we've done it. Administrative staff has been out there working patrols when we were short, particularly back during COVID, when things was going on, when everybody was scared to death. We wanted that presence out there so you would feel safe in your community. So you wouldn't feel like that your supermarket would be looted or your business would be looted. That's what we did. We had everybody out, we had everybody working. We'll do that again. So it's all equally important. Of course, we will do our statutory obligations, but there's a lot of things that we can do. And that's what we've been doing. We're used to that, and we can adapt, I feel like, to whatever. Another thing I can do is I have all these resources out here. I have close connections with all the departments around us. We have reciprocal aid agreements, which they're willing to help. We've helped them, they come in and help us. Thank you.
All right. That's the end of our questions. Now you have your 1-minute closing statement. And Mr. Carson, you're first. 1 minute.
Thank you. Again, thank you guys for coming out. It's important to get here to hear what everybody has to say. And I do appreciate your attention to these questions or the answers to these questions. I am a team builder. I've coached youth sports. I like to build teams that work hard and do their jobs. I will do that at the sheriff's office. Over my 30 years of experience, and in fact, in the last 15 years, I was a command level supervisor. I worked hard doing that. In fact, the communications center moved from the old county office building to the new sheriff's office. Sheriff Shue gave that to me to handle. I managed that. I managed the building of the current sheriff's office. I have the experience, the knowledge. I ask for your support on May 3rd. Or starting Thursday, as a matter of fact. So thank you very much.
Again, your 1-minute close.
Well, anybody that knows me knows I've always been in the community. Even when I wasn't elected, even prior to me being in law enforcement, I've always served the community, whether it be singing in church or singing at a funeral or just out trying to do something. I've supported the veterans. For 20 years, I was at the VFW. I don't want to sit back in 4 years from now and say we just answered all the calls. I want to say we done that and made a positive difference in the community. I believe community is important. I truly believe what you put it in the community is what you get back. And that's why I asked for you to vote for me starting February 12th. And I promise I will not let you down. I'll work as hard and I'll show you that what your support means to me. Thank you.
Your 1-minute close.
Just thank y'all for coming up here. Thank you for listening to us, give your spiel. I just pray that God's will be done. You know, if it ain't his will, I don't wanna be the sheriff, you know. I'm big on our family. I wanna make our family come closer together. I want to, thank Chris Hugh and Dane Maston for taking the chance and giving me the opportunity to work. All the guys and gals from the sheriff's office, appreciate y'all, and I wanna look forward to making Wilkes County grow
30 seconds.
and just be better. Vote for the candidate that fits you. Don't vote for somebody just because you like their name or you like their page. Study on it. Vote for the one that you think best fits what you're looking for. If you want somebody that's gonna work hard and that's open, I'm here. Reach out to me. I'll be an open face. I'll be out in the public, and I'll give it all I got. Thank y'all for coming.
Steve, your 1 minute closing.
I love investigations, and that's why I will serve the people no matter who you are. I am also a member of the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association. This is not a personality contest. This is about the person you believe will do what's in the best interest of the people of Wilkes County and the Sheriff's Department. This is about who will follow the law and investigate crimes, and it's about serving the people when they need help. This makes me unique from the rest of them. I am not part and have not worked for this Sheriff's Department. It's not about money to me. This is all about giving back to the people. All my life, I grew up and heard about investigations and of how things need to be done and how to be served, and currently that's the same thing I'm doing now, just trying to help people when they have their moment of need.
Sheriff Hugh, your 1 minute closing.
Thank y'all for coming out. I want you to know that in addition to all the things that I stated earlier, what I've done, the positions I've held in the sheriff's office, the time I've been there, I was also a police officer for 7 years. I sat on the North Carolina Education Lottery. I was commissioner for 7 years, and during that time, I was vice chair of the commission, as well as chairman of the Personnel and Operations Committee. I was a volunteer fireman. I started the first community watch.
30 seconds.
I started the first community watch program in our community, and that's what got me started. That's what got me hooked on this, law enforcement, along with seeing the other men and women that were in it. I admired them, liked what they did. It's just, the whole thing was amazing to me. I became addicted to it. I'm still addicted to it. And I want to appreciate you I want to tell you I appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. Byrd, your 1 minute closing.
Thank y'all for putting this on. Thank you for coming. I will work hard for you. I do have an impressive resume. I've got a lot of experience, but I have earned every bit of the experience that I have. And I want to put that to work for you. This is not always a sunshine business. There are dark times coming. Each of us have seen things that are unimaginable. I had a young man working for me that got shot on a traffic stop one night that I loaded into a helicopter. There's real people, real jobs, and real consequences involved in this. I thank you for coming and listening. I ask you for your prayers, and I ask you for your vote. Thank you.
All right, let's give these candidates a hand.